In lots of ways, we have strayed from the typical conventions of the sci-fi genre, meaning our movie is much more atypical. But as an individual and also in our group, we feel to see it as a bad thing. While sci-fi is a brilliant genre, it's a very predictable one, and we think our product helps upset this bad trait of the genre. As for a real media product, I suppose it does challenge some of the conventions. I mean, while a lot of movies may have joke scenes, it is still very much a taboo subject. I know it do tend to glorify the use, something our movie seeks to reverse. I feel our movie also has an interesting premise of not only tackling drugs, but the effects of drugs. As you can see near the end of the opening, the main protagonist, Dante, is in limbo, an effect of using the drug Elysium. And something to this question, our media product has both developed some ideas and challenged others. This is quite a hard question to answer for a simple reason. Our opening only introduces our main character, Dante, and while our initial plots we looked at having more characters and a varying degree of ages, it was not possible to have them all in the opening. However, as the opening stands, I think we represent a young social group, teens to mid-20s. It also represents Alex, a group not rightly represented in the sci-fi genre, but in films in general. And I think this is an interesting development, and allowed us to explore things you normally wouldn't think about, and raise questions about the social groups, what they do, and who they are. As hinted during the start of our opening, we feel that Warner Brothers would be a good institute to distribute our movie. If this was a feature-length movie, we feel it would have both the resources and the contacts to make this movie a success. It also would choose many of the movies we looked at, including The Matrix, a movie that informed many aspects of a film. For example, some of the names or anagrams for Limbo, such as Mobile. This was informed by a scene in The Matrix, and it's a very interesting thing, as when we played it for the class, it took them a while to realise. That is something I feel we wanted. We had an idea of the opening being something you would have to watch a few times to understand, and I feel we were successful with this. I also feel that this is something that might interest Warner Brothers, distributing our media product. It has a real replay value, and this could increase sales of the product. I feel this movie is also aimed towards a very strong and large target audience who appreciate these subtle decisions. I think this is another reason the movie is aimed towards a very profitable audience, 15 to 25-year-olds. This is a high revenue target audience, and something that might interest Warner Brothers in distributing a media product. Well, as I previously stated, our movie's target audience would be 15 to 25-year-olds. Because in our research, we found this to be the main focal point of fans of this genre. As I said, this is also a very profitable audience. This is because of an excess of leisure time and also an excess of disposable income, something not present in other age groups. This is not to say our movie is solely focused towards this age bracket. We still believe we can attract some older age groups. We also feel our product can be engaging for both genders, again widening our audience. It must be said that because our movie is atypical of the sci-fi genre, and therefore more like exception, and even say Donnie Darko for that, it can attract people who wouldn't normally be interested in this genre, thus again expanding our audience. Also, with some of the issues, I feel it will become a very niche, almost cult movie if you will. But in summary, I would say our audience for the media product is 15 to 25-year-old age bracket. There are many ways we address and attracted our audience. We deliberately chose to have a young protagonist in an attempt to engage this audience. We also picked a genre which is normally very popular in this age bracket. Also, it helps comment on some of the same social problems facing this group today, mainly drugs. It is something relatable and will help attract our audience. Also, I previously said we had references to The Matrix, and I feel this is something this audience would really like, as these sort of references, also called by some Easter eggs, have become very common in movies and other real media products. This is some way we have tried to attract our audience. I think that I have learned a lot from the construction of this product, and I suppose that is a very easy answer, but it's also a very honest one. Even after or preliminary, I didn't feel confident in using any of the programs, most importantly Final Cut. However, in the construction of this one, I feel I've become much more confident and feel that I have a strong grasp of using these programs. Also, I helped design ideas from the end titles info. I use Live Tip Emotion, two programs that I hadn't used before, but feel in the future I'll be much more confident in using. But while I have learned how to use these programs, I also learned some of their limitations. There are things we originally planned were just not possible to do. But I have to say, does not affect the final product, which I feel is very slick and well edited. And also credit to everyone in the group, and also to the programs used to edit. Another piece of equipment used is GarageBand to help to record the monologue. Again, this was software I hadn't used before, as I am much more of a PC user as opposed to an operator. But I think as an individual, and also in groups, we use the software very well. In the future, I feel Ableton is something we could look into, as I feel we could have made this movie just a little bit better and bring up the overall finish of the product. In summary, myself and our group have learned a lot of skills which will no doubt be hugely beneficial in the future. Without doubt, our final product is much better than our preliminary. The preliminary task felt rushed and forced, as we scrapped one idea and only started another with a couple of weeks left. This is definitely something we learned from, and our film media product was much more focused and well developed before we even thought about filming. I mean, there was so much actual work put into the planning of the full product, something definitely influenced by some of the problems we have with the preliminary. We also learned much more about the importance of time management to make sure each stage of the film was getting done at its appropriate time. On top of that, we learned how to use Final Cut in a much more confident way. Meaning, if you look at the titles in the preliminary, they are just standard Final Cut titles, and if you compare these to the titles in the final product, there is no comparison. The final product was far superior. Has far superior titles. This is due to using software we were unfamiliar with during the preliminary task, most notably motion. This allowed us to make much more better and believable movie titles. Something else we learned was the importance of dialogue, and in the case of the full product, monologue. In the preliminary, dialogue was incredibly stale and lacking at times. This is something we learned from, meaning it took much more time deciding the monologue for the final product, and came up with 2 or 3 strong monologues that could have been used. Also in the preliminary, we didn't have enough variety of shots. I mean, some bits were just cut because they didn't work, thus affecting the overall feel of the task. This is something we learned from, and in the full product, we made sure to reshoot everything about 4 times and filmed the same scenes from multiple camera angles. I now had to pick the shots we wanted, not the ones we were stuck with. In summary, some of the most important things we learned was to manage our time better film techniques, and also to start using a more diverse range of Coursework, and also finally we learned the importance of proper planning and execution of that planning.